A very good evening I would like to bid to everyone present today. So, this will be a short interview about how we can utilize digital resources and other digital tools in education. So, today I'll be interviewing Ida Shafiqa. She also goes by Ika, and she's from Taylor's University, and she's going to tell us a thing or two about how her university utilizes digital resources.
Hi, I'm Ida Shafiqa, and yes, my nickname is Ika. I'm 19. I'm currently doing my foundation at Taylor's University.
So the first question is, what is your opinion on digital resources? Are there more pros than cons to them or vice versa?
I do acknowledge that there are cons to digital resources, but then I think I would say there are more pros. Like for instance, especially as a student, digital resources has definitely saved me a lot of time, and also energy and stress, which is very much I need less stress as a student. So I think the mostly I use like digital resources for maybe materials for my assignments, or one I use the most, which I think lots of people can also relate, is ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think now after using Google for many years and ChatGPT for only a year, I only started using ChatGPT when I entered college. I think ChatGPT is kind of way easier to use compared to Google, because you can literally ask them for anything and they would give it to you. And if
Yeah.
maybe they give you kind of like an inaccurate answer, this is most probably not a problem with ChatGPT. It's just the problem with like how you worded your question.
Like your request to it. I think when it comes to ChatGPT, I like the fact that it's very convenient. It's free of charge, easily accessible, and like you said, when it comes to giving our request, typing out our request, we actually have to have a skill. If we were to
Yeah.
just ask for anything simple like that, then like you said, the response wouldn't be as satisfying as we were expecting it to be. You know. What about when
Yeah.
it comes to using ChatGPT though? Do you think we need like a certain skills, a certain set of skills?
I
I
think
get it.
even with ChatGPT, like yeah, you have to have the skill of like what you want. You're able to put it into a sentence and ask them for it. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think when it comes to ChatGPT too, like in order to make it not so AI coded, you'll have to like specifically request the
Yeah,
AI to
exactly.
make it sound more human like. I think that's
Yeah,
ironic.
exactly. Yeah, that's possible. And even for instance, one that I always use is like I love ChatGPT because you can put in maybe like a definition and you don't understand it because it's in big words. You can literally ask them like, "Oh, can you please dumb this down for me?"
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's really interesting like what ChatGPT can do.
What
Like I
about
love
when it
it.
comes to like you typing out your
Assignment.
assignment,
Uh,
don't you have like written assignment? What do you use, like what kind of digital resources do you use? Maybe Google Docs or Microsoft Word?
oh, when it comes to that, I mostly prefer Google Docs because
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to share, and also Word is very hard to format, kind of. And also,
Yeah, true.
yeah,
Honestly, it can be easily shared to like other people, and I think Google Docs it's safer in a way because
hmm,
it's everywhere. It's online.
yeah,
It's an online thing. Unless you want to make it offline, then you have to like specifically make it offline. But if you're
yeah.
to lose like one of your devices, it's always backup by your Google account.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
very convenient, honestly. Okay, shall we move on to the second question? Your university focuses on leveraging the usage of technology to make the learning experience more effective and fun by offering online lectures, correct? Can you
yes.
elaborate more on this perk? What else is offered online there?
Okay, so like Taylor, they have created like their own apps and websites to help make it easier for not just the students but also the staff. So for instance, like I'll just go from like first to like last. When you first enter Taylor's, the like first website that you'd use is Campus Central. So
Mm,
anything about admissions or or your fees can also be accessed through Campus Central. If you have any complaints or any questions that you would like to ask Taylor's, like everything is on Campus Central. And then other than Campus Central, as a Taylor student, daily what we would use is like the Taylor's app. So the Taylor's app, that's where we can also access our fees, our exam timetable, our
Oh.
attendance is there. Yeah. Also, like if you want to check our attendance summary, for instance, if we're like, oh, has all our attendance actually been registered, they can give
Mm-hmm.
us an attendance summary. So for each course, like how many absence have we had? Yeah.
Oh, wait, since the first day of the lecture.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh, that's
even Taylor's app has your timetable. So yeah, and they always update it. So if for instance your tutorial class has been changed, the venues has been changed, they'll update it there.
oh,
Yeah, and they give you like your venue for the whole semester, including public holidays. So for instance, if Monday is a public holiday, they'll instantly put it there.
that's very
Yeah.
convenient. How do you log into the account though? Like, is everyone given a set of email and a password or something?
Yeah, at Taylor's they use mostly each student is given a Microsoft email.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and we
okay,
still have our
then.
student ID. So that's how it's the same username and password for all the apps. Yeah.
Oh,
So other than Taylor's, it's also My Times. And then
mm-hmm.
My Times is mostly for the educational things. So everything, whether it's lecture notes, practice questions, announcements, or maybe if we have a replacement class and there's like the meeting link, or if the teacher recorded her own personal video that she just wants to share, everything will be on My Times.
Oh,
Yeah, and also on My Times, that's where just now you mentioned the online lectures.
uh-huh.
So yeah, so at Taylor's, most lectures are actually physical, but
Mm.
they record it live on this thing called Panopto. And then on Panopto, that's where wherever you are, you can still watch the lecture live.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get it.
So like how it looks is the lecture slides will be big, and then here you can physically see the teacher. Even if the
Oh,
teacher moves around, it will
you can
follow
still
her.
see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if, for instance, like she's doing gestures or whatnot, like you will see everything because the camera follows
oh,
her or him. Yeah. And
that's
even after the lecture has ended, that we can still access recordings of those lectures, which is very helpful when we want to look back. Or maybe,
for
as a
like
student, maybe certain lectures you fell asleep or you just didn't pay attention.
like
You always
zone
have the
out.
option of looking back. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
also easier to look back because they already give a transcript, which is basically like subtitles. Yeah, and I
Mm.
don't know how it works, but they also already put, like, for instance, 10 seconds until like 20 minutes is this subchapter.
Oh, like the
Yeah.
timestamp.
Yeah, and they already susan the lecture slides to it also. So it immediately
That's
skips to
so
the next one.
convenient.
Yeah. Even the speed, you can put it at like twice. So for
Oh,
instance, if you're trying to cram like the night before, just put it at like
two times
faster.
speed.
Yeah. So
I
it's like
get
it's
it.
very helpful. Especially for me, because I do things last minute. So
Honestly, you said something about like a recorded lecture. Okay, let's say I'm a student at Taylor's and I want to join like my classes online only.
hmm.
Will my attendance be recorded?
It depends on the teacher because again, another system that Taylor's has is called CAMS,
Mm-hmm.
and basically the teacher will log onto their CAMS and it will generate a code. So each lecture is a different code, and
Oh,
the lecturer also it's up to them how long they want the code to show.
okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
so normally they show the code and then we log onto our Taylor's app and type in the code. So one big problem that we have at Taylor's is that people that don't join it physically, they will still get the code since it shows on the live recording. But it's
Oh,
honestly up to the lecturer if they care about it or not. So
mm,
certain lecturers that do want you to be there physically and not just join online, they will either some of them, it depends on the lecturer. Each has their own creative way. So I've experienced a lecturer who would switch off the laptop so nothing shows on the screen. And or like other teachers, maybe they'll let you have the code. So on your app it says that you did attend, but they'll also ask you to write down your name and your student ID. Even though
oh,
there's literally 300 of us, they'll still ask to write it down physically. Yeah, because they don't care.
I get
Like
it.
they really want us to be honest.
I
So
get you.
yeah,
You mentioned the fact that some lecturers they want their students to actually attend the classes physically,
mm,
so they opt to like using both methods, the traditional methods
yeah,
of taking attendance and the modern method of taking attendance. I think that's such a good idea, especially when you want your students to be honest about something.
mm,
Because in a way
yeah,
you can compare like, oh, the students did not write down their names on like physical attendance, but they
mm,
did register for the online attendance. So
yeah. I
that's
think
like
like
one way to.
yeah, that's the thing with like online. There's many ways to cheat around it, or like
Mm,
to
that's
use it
true.
to cheat. So even though I mean, in many things, like even if you use the online way of doing things, you can still use a traditional way of like to as backup. Like
Yeah,
even yeah, like even ChatGPT, how we have our answers, but we still have to use our brain to maybe
that's
like
true.
paraphrase it or whatever they give. Especially if college our assignments, we have to cite it or have a
Mm,
reference link, but we can't cite ChatGPT.
that's
So we
true.
still have to use what they gave us and search for an article or something like a credible source that's similar to it.
That can like
Yeah,
back. I get you.
yeah. So it's not like people depend on that one digital thing completely. Yeah.
Yeah. In ways like this, when you fail to find basically like credible sources online using all these digital resources, you can always opt to acquiring like books or something like that.
Yeah,
I,
exactly. Or
yeah.
like, yeah, not 100% relying on technology. It's just like to help or to save time
Yeah.
and energy. Yeah. Like, especially as a student, for instance, right now I have a course called public speaking, which is
Mm-hmm.
all just presentations and they're all graded. So nearly, yeah, it's very often we have graded presentations. And to save myself time, actually, even in the course itself, my lecturer allows us to use ChatGPT.
Oh.
Yeah, to maybe like give us ideas on what to talk about or on our script like format. As long as in our submission, like we mention answers generated by AI. Yeah, there's like a
Mm.
specific um question that asks that, and we answer it. Yeah,
Oh, that's so convenient. I like this like method of encouraging your student to utilize digital
yeah,
resources
exactly.
in order to like get
Yeah,
help.
because there's no use asking us to do everything traditionally. Like, yes, I understand
Yeah.
honesty and wanting us to put in the hard work, but the thing is already there, as long as we just use it to help, not to do our
Mm,
assignments, I think it's okay. And again, that depends on the student's own honesty. But I think, like, as the time changes, again, we have to change with them. And
that's true.
especially like later on when we're working, they will be using all these technology and we have to know how to take advantage of it now when we're learning in college.
That's true.
Yeah,
Totally
like for
agree with you.
instance, if our lectures don't allow us to use ChatGPT, and then when we enter like working, our working days, and then everybody's using ChatGPT to like generate ideas or strategies, and then we're like, I don't know how to use ChatGPT,
Clueless,
then that'll be a
yeah.
big problem. Yeah, or even any other online systems that I maybe don't know of, but I'm sure they exist. But then, like, if students are discouraged to take advantage of them, then it will be disadvantages to us later on in the future.
I totally,
Yeah.
yeah, I get you. Because it's the digital era, like you said. I like that phrase though. As the time changes, we have to change with them. You know, it's something that we always have to keep in mind, especially as, like for me, I'm going to become an educator. So, I always have to keep in mind of the fact that the students now, they have the help of like all these digital resources.
Yes.
And me as an educator, I cannot stop them from taking advantage of this
Yeah.
because it's already there, like you said,
Mm.
So why not just take advantage of it? Because we'll have to use it later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Third question is your achievements in extracurricular at your high school were outstanding. Did you use any digital resources to help you get there?
Honestly, I don't think back in high school I relied that much on digital resources. Like for instance, in high school, it was mostly maybe like Sea Scout
Mm,
or Interact, or Girl Guides. But everything that I would use, all of those were like mostly activities, right? Digital resources, I would say, is more for like the knowledge itself.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like to execute my activities back in high school, most of the knowledge came from like teachers or whoever was guiding me. And if I didn't know anything, I would opt to ask someone.
Mm.
Yeah, whether that be whoever's in charge or like for Interact, if I didn't know anything, I would ask my sister
Mm.
that used to be in Interact. I wouldn't Google the question first. I think the only thing that I did Google was, for instance, for Interact, like examples of formal letters that I had
Okay.
to know, yeah, like the format. Or in Interact, we had to come up with like I had to come up with activities for my club. So I think the most I used was like fun project name idea generator or something.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say digital resources was like a big main help back then. Yeah, I think it was I only properly used digital resources like in college.
All right. So hypothetically speaking, if digital resources would not exist back then when you were still in high school, would
Yeah,
it give you like a long lasting impact in a way?
sorry,
It's okay. Go ahead.
it's my mom.
You have to become
Um,
calm. It's
I know
fine if
it's
you have
okay.
to.
It's okay. If digital resources didn't exist back then, I don't think it would have made a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, although speaking about my mom, since she had always yeah, growing up, she had always given me and my siblings the phrase like just Google.
Okay
Yeah. So
then.
all this like utilizing technology, I also mostly get from my mom. She's the one that taught me about like all this chat GPT, and then she mentioned other apps that can be used.
That's
So
smart.
yeah, because also my mom does trading and stocks, investing in stocks.
Ah.
So I'm pretty sure she would know more about digital resources than me.
She's yeah, I can tell
Yeah,
she's the
but
expert when it comes to like
yeah,
continue.
exactly. But I don't know why in high school I don't think like for extracurricular activities I used digital resources. I think the thing that helped me most to achieve whatever I did achieve was mostly like from experience, from
Mm.
past activities, and I brought it on. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of your mom, I like the fact that you said she encouraged you to use all these
Yeah.
digital resources to gain information. I think
Yeah.
that's such a good move from parents because it's a digital era. So if you're to like not exposing your children to digital
Mm,
resources, they will be left behind on
yeah.
many things. You know.
Honestly, like my mom was the one that taught me the term like resourcefulness. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't
smart.
know it if she never ever mentioned it. Cause I'm not joking when I tell you like ever since I was like 8, she would always say just Google. If I asked her any questions because I'm curious, as a child you're curious, she will never give me a straight up answer. She'll tell me to Google first, and if she'll only answer if I can't find the answer on Google.
Oh, I get
Yeah,
it.
because she's like you have to find the answers yourself, and
Oh,
she
that's a
always
good approach.
yeah, and she always it reminds how like I mean again she's a mom, so she'll say how we have it easy, everything is
Uh,
just like we can just Google. And like since she's a mom, she'll say, "Oh, back then she had to go to the library and have to, yeah." So that's why every single time I feel like I'm lazy, I'm like, "They had it harder. They had it harder. I can deal with this." And I'll go to ChatGPT. So yeah,
that's a good move, though. Honestly,
yeah,
like ever since you were 8, you've been exposed to like digital
yeah,
resources. I think in a way, it's just like you said, it made you more independence in acquiring like answers to your question yourself, and I think it was a good move. Like I like the term resourcefulness.
yeah,
That's smart, honestly.
exactly.
All right. While doing both your individual and group assignment, did you use any digital resources to help you search for information?
I mean, I think the main one was ChatGPT. Actually, like, you know how I mentioned in our college assignments that we have to have citations or references.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I like kind of combat that is after ChatGPT gives me their answers, I will literally ask them like, can you help give me website links? that are
Oh.
related to this, you know. Or I will ask like, where did you get these answers from? Like, what prompted it?
Mm.
Yeah, because yeah, actually, mentioning about ChatGPT, actually Taylor's is coming out with their own chatbot.
That's
Yeah, they're currently working on it, which I forgot to mention just now. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you know that's I'm pretty sure the Taylor's chatbot might be more helpful for our assignments
because it's
since you
more
know it'll be
tailored
graded.
towards.
Yeah,
I
they
get.
said how they're planning to have a chatbot for like nearly each lecturer.
Oh, that's so
Yeah. So
smart.
for instance, like if we have an assignment and then we want to ask like, because each lecturer maybe the marking is different. So if you
Oh.
want our assignment to be catered to that lecturer, we'll ask that chatbot.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, but which
That,
is quite scary because it's like then like what if we don't need them after we have the chatbots?
that's true.
Yeah, so I mean I'm excited to see how they kind of counteract that. But
And
yeah,
they would have to constantly remind the students that this chatbot is not a replacement for like the lecturers. It's just it's not supposed to be a substitution. It's supposed to be something that helps the student more. Just
yeah,
in case the lecturers are like too busy to actually give them the attention they need, then the
hmm,
chat box is always there to help them.
yeah. But then like circling back to your question for individual and group assignments, I think another one that I use a lot is like citation generators.
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's considered a digital resource, but then you know how we have to like reference APA or Harvard.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so it's very easy to use citation because maybe like that's the same case, but then you cannot find something like an article on the case itself.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you can only find maybe blogs talking about it. So like with the citation generator, sometimes you can find like many
The
different
sources.
articles that might be related to it, and then you can find the right one, and then they'll give you like the date it was published, the
Oh,
author, even though you can't find it on the article itself.
I get you.
Yeah, which helps a
That's
lot.
so smart.
Yeah, so I think that's another one that I use very frequently.
What about like what about other applications? Maybe like e-magazines or e-books. Do you use any of those anymore? I
No.
think those are quite traditional. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I don't. I feel like the only apps I might use are all the Google, like Google Docs, Google
Oh.
Excel. Yeah, but yeah, like Google Excel for finances, but it's not. I wouldn't consider it a digital resource for myself. And
Mm.
yeah, I don't think I use that many honestly. Like the ones I already use now, they're enough.
Okay, I
Yeah,
get
so
it.
like you just have to be smart and like just rely on that one. As long as you pandai guna, like you can use it well, then it'll be enough.
I get you.
Yeah.
All right. So that marks the end of our short interview. Think it was quite short, but it wasn't that short. So not sure what to call it.
Yeah.
But thank you, Ika, for joining us today. And I hope I didn't burden you that much.
Don't worry.
That was all fun and games, right? With the laughing and all.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.